Hello, I'm Andrew Love. I sing. I'm a singer. I make sounds happen with my body. Got that. Put that on the blooper reel. um, for so many different reasons that it's tough to just answer it as one. I sing because it's my job. It's what I do. It makes money. But that's not reason one. That's like five. I sing like music of any kind because I find connection with other people through it. Work with people. Before I was a singer, I was a choir conductor, and going in with my choral conducting was I was working in a church and working with people's lives. So maybe if I wasn't singing, I'd be involved in some sort of therapy or social work or something like that. There's this idea that once you find your voice, it's your voice and you have it. Well, so many factors can change it. And there's those days you wake up and it's not the same today. It's kind of crappy today. And that's where building up a technique, I'm going to make enemies by saying this, but I've always said you need a technique for when things aren't going well, not for when things are. The idea for me is my technique is just like let go of it, and then a technique brings you back when things aren't going well. And I think the same for an acting technique. It's been the #1 thing on my bucket list since I was 9 years old to be a part of that show. So for me to be able to check it off, just as in terms of like, there's no like definition of success I have in my head, but in terms of like personal fulfillment and success, it was so gratifying to say I did that. Showing up on day one of Les Mis as the only opera singer there, or one of two, was sort of like, I was scared people were going to be like, dude, why are you singing like that? Because I just sang with my voice. But the reaction was very different. Everybody was very excited to hear me sing, and that felt amazing. I expected more than there were, but the two worlds are very similar in the process. At least for this specific show for Les Mis, it felt like the rehearsal process, though much longer than an opera rehearsal process, it ran about the same. Okay, that is chief difference in the process is I got my score for Les Mis on my first day of rehearsal. And I didn't even know that I was playing the bishop until the first day of rehearsal. I got there and I saw the cast list finally. I was like, oh, I'll be playing the bishop. I've always wanted to do that. Okay, well, that's me today. In opera, if you had to plunk out notes, people would just be like, learn your music. But there's like, you'll just sit down for 20 minutes while they're teaching somebody their stuff, and everybody just waits and totally cool with it. Because that's how they learn. So, just in terms of like new works coming out, opera, it's not okay in opera to produce a new piece of music that is in the style of someone else. Right? In opera, if somebody came along and just wrote another Puccini opera, everybody would be like, you're just ripping off Puccini. And people would be mad about that. But in musical theater, it's totally okay to borrow new styles and like create from like this whole group of like Broadway-esque type music. So I think it just makes it like so much more tangible or possible for musical theater to produce new stuff all the time, because it's allowed to sound like other things. Like what musical theater would say to opera and what opera would say to musical theater? Yeah, there's plenty. They would have words to share. People who came to see Les Mis afterwards said like, this quote was said to me like, the amount of energy you guys have on that stage, if that amount of energy could be brought to an opera, I think more people would be going. I feel like musical theater would say to opera, like, come on, energize. Every single syllable is potent with life and love and energy in this. And opera would say to musical theater, relax. Just let silence, just let it be still. And it's interesting because you just kind of, I want both things.